We're going to take a tour of some homes here in the Greater Lafayette area. And this week's theme, if you've watched the show at all, when we do home tours, I tend to do home tours with some sort of theme. There's something that ties the room together, as it were. And tonight's theme is homes with acreage. They're fairly varied in other features, but there was something unique about each of them, and you'll see what that unique thing is. But we're going to start here on the Lafayette side of the river at 302 North 1025 East. We're going to load this up on the map as we always do to show you where it's at, and this is just a little east of town. Here is State Street 26, and we'll just keep zooming out. This is the Wildcat down here. Just a little to the east of West Lafayette. Here you go. So here's the home. Here's exit 172, where I-65 and Indiana 26 meet. That's a roughly, 550, so that's 4 miles. It's a 5 to 7 minute drive from the home to the intersection. Easily accessible to most things, because if you can make it there, then at that point you got shortcuts to get most anywhere in town. So that's where it's at, but let's go on a tour. 302 North 1025 East in Lafayette, just a little east of Lafayette. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 2,342 square feet on 4.65 acres. And as I said, tonight's tours all are tied together with land, with acreage. And we'll see that this one has the lovely wraparound porch, farmhouse style. The porch roof indeed is newer, has the newer metal roof on it. Still asphalt shingles up on the main roof. This is just your stereotypical go sit out and rock on the porch farmhouse look. You have the 2-car garage. And at 2,300 square feet on the inside, plenty of room, but it's got this barn on it. And this is one of the unique things that drew me to this, is it's not super expensive. Land ain't free and land ain't cheap. It's not the newest modern pole barn. It is definitely an older mid-century metal corrugated barn, but you have one where you can store your tractor, your other toys. You got that beautiful oak tree there, and there is the property line. So 4.65 acres total. It does indeed reach out into that farm field. I think they've got that leased as part of the farm, so you'll probably get a little bit of revenue from that. You could pull it back in to your own development if you wanted to, but you do have a little bit of a tree line. We'll get into the house here in just a second. Lovely, updated, renovated on the inside. And there's always a little bit of a balance on these that have been fixed up. You don't want it to feel like a cheap fix and flip, but you also don't want to put so much into it that it just makes it so unaffordably expensive. And I think they've struck a good balance here. Updated LED fixtures in the ceiling. You got the nice plank floor that doesn't just look like the cheap vinyl. I don't love the color palette. That's easy enough to change. I tell my clients that all of the time. Got that big room that's probably been opened up over the years. You got this big beam that separate, really airy feeling in there. Love the eat-in kitchen with a island that is big but not gigantic. It feels in scale with the house. The farmhouse style sink could go with a little more cabinet space. You got your dining room here, lots of light, and that's fairly typical for this age of home. This was built in 1901, so it is indeed a century house, but you would not know that from looking inside by any means. Got a laundry space that requires a stackable. I know, if we move into the half bath, that is the world's tiniest sink, and we start moving into the bedroom. Certainly not quite as interesting as the rest of the house, but the primary suite with the primary bath, and you got the dual basin sink, and it's nice and modern, but it's not over the top. Now, if you want luxury and you want a giant bathroom with all of the fixtures and fittings and the rain shower and the soaking tub, I get it. But sometimes it feels like that's just taking up a whole lot of space, and that's not here. We go upstairs, and we can see the slightly unfortunate positioning of the toilet there. Lots and lots of room upstairs. Like I said, 4 bedrooms and 3 baths in this home. You don't lack for space, and some larger bedrooms because this is indeed an older home. And with the hipped roofs, it's got that cozy feeling without feeling cramped, if you will. Work the hipped roof into the shower there. Don't particularly love that. And like I said, the older mid-century barn out there, but nicely done. Here we can see the layout where come into the living room up front here with the stairs up. We have the dining and kitchen in the middle, and then the primary is on the main floor. And then indeed you go upstairs and you have the 3 bedrooms and the bath up there. So there you go. That is 302 North, 1025 East in Lafayette. Indeed, just a few minutes east of Lafayette. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 2,342 square feet. No lack of space. Nicely updated, I think, on the inside. You get 4.65 acres of land to call your own, and it's currently priced at $499,900, so $500,000. You might say, oh my goodness, Geoff, that is a lot of money. It's $500,000. Yes, it is. But it's almost 5 acres, four and 2/3 acres, and 2,300 square feet. So if you want to go check that one out, go to the LafayetteReal.com/YouTube, fill out the form, and let's go check out a really cool house together. And then we're going to move on our tour of homes with acreage tonight. And again, that's the theme that ties these homes together. There's not a lot of other things that tie them together. They are all rather unique other than that. But we're going to look at this one next. This is 4231 Black Forest Lane. This is on the West Lafayette side of the river, and as you can tell, it's got some more unique architecture. This one was built in 1981, so about 44 years old, so about half a century newer than the last one that we looked at. Has 5 acres on this one. Let's look at it on the map, like I said, on the West Lafayette side of the river. And this is in a neighborhood, if you will, that's full of similar sized houses and lots, but definitely one of the more unique homes here in the area. And this is 400 West. This is Lindbergh Road, and 26, which is the main road that runs through Purdue University. It's State Street through Purdue University. It angles to the to the northwest, and then hits Lindbergh up here. It's just a little bit out. These Point West apartments are really in some ways almost like Purdue. They're not Purdue apartments, but you do see some Purdue grad students and stuff living there. But here we go. A 2-minute jaunt down 400 and then straight across Lindbergh, or better, hit the diagonal down 26 to State Street and you're into Purdue University. That's an 8-minute drive tops. Or head north up to 52 over here. This is a 6-minute drive to Meyer and Menards and everything. So you get 5 acres, you get a really unique feel, but you're still really close to town. So we're going to go take a tour. 4231 Black Forest Lane in West Lafayette, just a little west of West Lafayette. 4 bedrooms, 4 baths, 3,028 square feet on 5.05 acres. And again, a little more unique architecture than some homes. You definitely get that wooded feel as you drive up, but check it out. When in the side profile, it's almost, I was going to say modified A-frame, definitely in a contemporary style of contemporary kind of meets country with the siding and the finishes and the brick chimney. When you get 5 acres, you get some lovely wooded acres. Look at that. Look at the boardwalk coming off of your porch, heading out into the trees and woods of your 5 acres. And then look at that window wall on the there. I always kind of make fun of modern homes and McMansions about who's going to clean your windows. And this one, it's absolutely true. You're going to have to hire somebody to clean all of those windows. But man, the amount of light that lets in. And then we move inside and you can start to see how this unique space flows. And you can see the kitchen with the attached dining room. And we're here in the living room with the wood stove on it. I like the little lookout windows that pop open there. My wife would love this, the bookshelf with the ladder built in. Interesting choice of where to put a closet. I'm guessing the closet preceded the fireplace. Mirrors, of course, make the place feel better, feel bigger. So It's not out of date and it's not up to date either. It feels of the right time, if that makes sense, without like feeling old. Could it use some touch-ups? Oh yeah, for sure. Here's the window wall, and it's actually like a separate airlock almost. You actually can hang on to some thermal energy with this and provides extra insulation out to the rest of the house. Lets you close all of those windows. Also requires a whole lot of Windex. Going to move out past the living room into the dining room with the banquette pass-through to the kitchen. It's one of the more interesting pass-throughs that I've seen. The kitchen, when I say that it's like of a period, you definitely feel that in the kitchen. Needs a little bit of updating if that's your thing. It's not everybody's thing, but definitely feels of a period. Overlook from the second floor into the first floor. Fairly typical for this period of house. But you can see how that window wall lets all of the light in. You got the built-ins in that area, so it is an office/library. Now, if you're doing a bunch of Zoom meetings, doesn't give you a whole lot of privacy, but you can see that this area that faces the window wall is all about letting the light in. We start moving into the bedroom areas. You can see there's the other side of the opening to let more light in, make the house feel connected, and out to the deck out back there. Again, you feel like you're in your own little forest oasis there. Gonna zip through all the bedrooms. You don't get to count all of this square footage. I forget exactly where the square footage cuts off, but once the ceiling gets so low, you don't get to count it anymore. So it's going to be somewhere along the midpoint of this room counts towards total square footage. Bathroom, ceilings feel a little bit dated. Yep. It's exactly what you think it is. Presented without comment. Other than the space station shower stall. I love those. I don't love them. That's very tongue-in-cheek. Coming to the end here, you got the screened-in gazebo out in the woods. Oh, hi. Did I see you? Almost looks like two eyes and a nose there. Almost looks like Jabba the Hutt coming up over the ridge. Here's the layout. So main floor, you got the screened porch with the window wall, the living room, dining, kitchen, with one bedroom, with the primary bedroom here on the main floor, and then the gigantic garage. And then we hop over to the upstairs, and we got bedroom, all these bedrooms upstairs, and the balcony. But that is a very unique home. That is 4231 Black Forest Lane in West Lafayette. 4 bedrooms, 4 baths, 3,028 square feet, 5.05 acres, so 5 acres. Currently listed at $649,000. Go to thelafayettereal.com/YouTube, fill out the form, and let's work together on going to go check out this beautiful, beautiful home. And then, I went out of order. Not that there's a lot of order to this, but in some ways that was a cool home that maybe should have been saved for the last position. But here we go. We're going to do one more. We're going to look at a newer home. This one's only 7 years old. Was built in 2018. We're going to look at 5170 1075 East in Lafayette. This one, again, comes with almost 5 acres, 4.65 acres in this particular case. Let's put it on the map, and then we'll go take a tour of it. Bring the map up. Here we go. So down here, just a little bit south, here's 500 South. And for those of you that it doesn't mean anything to, we'll zoom out a little bit more. Here's 38. Mulberry is just to your east. You hit 500 South, which turns into Wyandotte Road over here to hit Sagamore Parkway. So just between Dayton and Mulberry and Lafayette. Has a Lafayette address, but you get your 4.65 acres with that. This is a 5-minute zip over here to 52, and from here it's another 5-minute zip up to Veterans Memorial Parkway. So if you're south side oriented, you can do that. It's pretty quick 5-minute zip, and probably more like an 8-minute zip over here to Dayton, and then you can come up and catch the rest of Lafayette. So, a little down in the far corner. Again, almost 5 acres. So, you're not going to get that in the middle of town by any means. So this is 50 5170 South 1075 East in Lafayette, just a little southeast of Lafayette, down around the Dayton-Mulberry area. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,634 square feet on 4.65 acres, and it was built in 2018, so it is only 7 years old. You got lots of land, but look, this is why it made it in tonight. Look at the pole barn. It is a 40 by 48 foot pole barn, count them, two 16-foot doors and a 10-foot door. If you need a shop, if you've got hobbies, if you've got a business, you got a house and this pole barn all for one money sitting on 4.65 acres. And that is indeed why it made it into our tour this evening. And you can see the gravel drive and your neighbors, and you can see the property line there. Again, built in 2018, looks like a 2018 kitchen. Modern. Not quite galley style, but not galley style. This is a staged photo, TV too high. You've got your prototypical office / game / music room / study / den just inside the front door. More shots of the kitchen, gas stove out there. This has the modern mid-century, mid-2010s great room where everybody's in one living space. In my view, that's a downside, but the home is only 1,600 square feet. It's what I would call like a normal size home. It's not giant, it's not tiny, but you do have one living room. I'm going to zip back and check out. It's got an actual fireplace there with the ventilator, circulator. It's got the fan unit built in. A little bit of a tight fit in the living room with the overstuffed couches, but that's okay. Ignore the deer heads if that's not your thing. It's not my thing. Definitely a modern house. And again, the reason that this house made it into the tour was because of that pole barn. Like if you're just looking for a completely normal, functional, modern home, this is it. You can see this layout in so many developments in town, but it comes with 4.5 acres and a giant pole barn. I'm not sure, did the hot tub come with it? I'm not sure if the hot tub comes with it. That pole barn, though. That pole barn is probably bigger than the house on a square footage basis. Not finished. You can simply, nothing simple about it, but you can pave that. So if you want to put concrete in there, you have to insulate the walls. But again, 5 acres, 4.65 acres, not quite 5 acres. There's the property line. 5170 South 1075 East in Lafayette, just a little to the southeast of Lafayette. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,634 square feet on 4.65 acres with the pole barn at 40 foot by 48 foot. 3 doors, 2 of them 16 foot and a 10-foot door. And again, I just can't overemphasize the acreage that you get. Currently priced at a steal, and I'm sorry, this one is a steal just for the land and pole barn alone, not just for that, but based on the fact that it has that and you have a modern home that was built in 2018, $425,000. I think that's a pretty good deal. So let's go check that one out together. Go to thelafayettereal.com/YouTube, fill out the form, and let's go check out all of these beautiful homes with acreage here in the Greater Lafayette area.